Hello, everyone. This is Yu Tsai. Welcome to Let's Talk. And today is Tuesday. So, Giving Tuesday special edition, we're talking to people in the food and beverage industry and learning about the impact of their businesses. However, how they're pivoting in order to make sure that everybody is still being taken care of around them. At the same time, still giving back to the community. The food industry and the beverage industry makes me so proud to be part of it because that they are always there with the first responders when you need. But today, my guest is here, Marcie Allen Van Mol. A long name I had to learn over and over. What is it, Marcie? Just so it's easier for me. Hi, Marcie. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here. We're going to talk about your business, Anzie Blue. We want to talk about how this business has pivoted and how there's silver lining in everything that we go through at difficult times. So tell me, first of all, where you're at right now.
Actually, I just arrived in the Florida Keys. I'm in Marathon. We're down here for our first vacation since the pandemic started. My two stepdaughters just got out of school a couple days ago. So we are just literally walked in the door 5 minutes ago.
Well, thank you for making the time, and we'll get through this so you can go back to your vacation.
It's okay.
So tell me about the restaurant, where it's located, and just a little bit of history of the restaurant.
Yeah, so my husband and I opened up Anzie Blue, which is not your average coffee shop, in a little suburb of Nashville, Tennessee, a restaurant right in the middle of a pandemic. But we are just continuing to plow through day by day. We serve cocktails, coffee, lunch, dinner, and my husband also has been working over the past year and a half on his own CBD line. So we also have CBD.
Well, that's interesting. So where you're at, CBDs actually can be incorporated into the meal, in the coffee shop.
Correct. A lot of people add CBD drops to their coffee as well as smoothies, milkshakes, and cocktails.
And what's the capacity of the coffee shop during a normal time?
During a normal time, I would say the inside is 40 and the outside is 30. And we're operating at a 75% capacity as of yesterday per the mayor's instructions in Davidson County.
So it's Davidson County, everybody, the community feels pretty safe to come back. There, people are activated. I know it was a good weather yesterday, and I know in Los Angeles, everybody flooded the beach. It was a little surreal.
Yeah, we were closed on Memorial Day, so today was the first day of the 75% capacity. We were at 50% all weekend, and we were absolutely packed, busy. Wow. We also were doing a lot of deliveries because we offer free delivery in Metro Nashville as well as curbside pickups. So there are some.
Before the reopening, let's go through that journey a little bit together. When you heard the news that this is happening and your restaurant just barely open, just grand open 3.5 months, right? And go through that process a little bit with us. What was that like for everybody who works around you and the decision you had to make immediately in order to be here today?
Well, I split my time between Nashville and New York. I'm in the music business, so we have an apartment up in Manhattan. And I'm also an adjunct professor at NYU, Steinhardt, for the past 7 years. So in mid-March, I had my last course before spring break at NYU and got on the plane when all of this was starting to just explode, the pandemic scare. And I knew that it was going to be bad. I just had a feeling. A lot of people were leaving Manhattan, a lot of my friends, colleagues in the industry. And I said to my husband, we need to get ready. And so we immediately stopped all of our marketing and advertising because we wanted to hold on to the cash that we had. We didn't know what to expect. And we just were kind of bracing, and we just looked at each other and said, you know what, if we go down, we're going to go down swinging. And we just went day by day.
And how many people do you employ at the coffee shop?
Currently, we have 5 employees.
So I find that in the smaller restaurants, after speaking to so many people, the smaller the restaurants, easier to contain, easier to continue to support because the overheads are a little bit lower. And I know that from the medium to large restaurants, everybody's telling me that unless they have 75% to 85% capacity, the margin's not there in order to keep everybody working. And that seems to be a beneficial place for smaller restaurants like yours or coffee shops.
Absolutely. But also we changed so much since the pandemic began. You know, we were able to secure our liquor license in 2 weeks after the pandemic hit, which typically that's a 2-month process. You know, we bought a pizza oven, we added dinner, we changed our hours, we added our signature cheese and charcuterie board that we sell probably 75 of every weekend, added lavender lemonade that you could add vodka and CBD to. Like, we just tried to really listen to what our clients were saying that they needed. They wanted to still feel a sense of normalcy, even though they were all being quarantined at home.
And this obviously you converted into a pickup service immediately because you already had a pickup service system at your coffee shop to begin with, yes?
Yes. And one of my favorite stories was we were open on Easter, and that was probably one of our busiest days. And as you know, that was just a couple weeks after the pandemic and quarantine began. And so I was out doing deliveries all day, and someone looked at me and said, "Wait a second, I think I recognize you. Are you the owner?" And we're like, "And you're delivering my coffee?" And I said, "That's what you do when we're in the middle of a pandemic."
That notion of somebody saying hi to you, that interaction, it goes such a long way, because we know that, we hear from all these stories of people volunteering, dropping off food at older generations and old folks' homes or nursing homes. It brings such a joy to people because we need that human connection so much. And in a way of the way the coffee shop is set up at your place, is an outside gathering area that people can still social distance and still create atmosphere and experience when they come to you.
Yes, absolutely. And we just completely remodeled the outside with all new furniture, outdoor lights, plants, just really tried to create it a magical place. Last Friday, we had a new couple come out on their first date that they had actually gone on. They got a babysitter. They were so excited. And they said, "I feel like I'm in the islands in the Caribbean somewhere," just because of all the lights. And we really just are doing everything we can for people to make people feel comfortable. And we really want to be the neighborhood place, just like you said, place where everyone knows your name. You can come in, we know your order, we know your cocktail, whatever it is that you typically get. I mean, we see a lot of familiar faces every morning.
And how do you deal with the staff? Because some of the things that we hear out there is that they're worried, restaurant owners are worried that when you come in to try to have experience and a bartender has a mask on or a shield on or the patrons, how is that interaction? Have you seen any issue with that interaction?
I have not. I mean, we all wear actually branded Anzie Blue face masks and gloves. And everyone just continues to have the same rapport with our clients as we've always had. And I think especially for the people that are single or that live alone, we sometimes are the only interaction that they're getting when they come down to pick up their lunch or their coffee or just a happy hour cocktail. Because now in Davidson County in Nashville, you're allowed to do, since the pandemic began, you're allowed to do to-go cocktails. So that's been
amazing.
Very helpful for us and our margins and for our ability to really expand our client base.
And so there's a silver lining to the pandemic for you guys, because it could have went either way, right? It could have went closed down, let the employees go, not able to sustain and support. Yet because of this and where you have pivoted so fast, you actually growing a new community of people to support your business. So tell me a little bit about the CBD community.
Well, yeah, and I just want to touch on one thing that you said. I would say probably half the restaurants in Nashville shut down during the pandemic, and we stayed open. So I think that because we powered through, people wanted to support us. I had people coming in and ordering stuff and ordering a lot of food. I don't know if they were just doing it to support us or whether they really needed it, but either way, we were just so appreciative and so grateful. So my husband has been working for over 1.5 years with numerous people out of California and Nevada on growing obviously hemp flower, and then doing a whole line of CBD, including tinctures. Our best seller is our blackberry tincture. And then also we're getting ready to launch gummies. And then we have face lotion, body lotion, bath bombs, mint strips, and sports balm. So there's something for everybody, because we see people coming in all ages, parents coming in whose teenagers are stressed out, all the way up to senior citizens who are coming in who have arthritis and just aches and pains that they want a sports balm for. So we really try to think of everybody. And my husband and I have been using CBD for over a year and a half now as well. And we were able to really talk about how it helped us, not only with not being able to sleep. I just turned 45 and all of a sudden couldn't sleep anymore. I don't know what happened. And then also just for stress and anxiety, just, living in two cities, and my husband's an entrepreneur as well as myself, and being a stepmother and a wife and an adjunct professor at NYU. There's a lot going on. And so it's really been, CBD has been woven into my daily life and helps me a lot.
Well, through this stress time, when people get more educated with the benefit of CBD, it definitely will help through this stressful time. That's for sure. I personally, a CBD lover, if you would say. I always have the CBD balm on for pre-workout or post-workout, because it is like magic. It does work amazing, and I can't live without it. It's part of my daily activity to take care of myself. But in terms of business, how do you merge in the CBD to the coffee shop? Is it a separate component of the restaurant, or are you really integrating the menus and the lifestyle?
It's actually woven into everything. And that's why we always say we're not your average coffee shop. You come in, the first thing you see is the coffee bar. We did not want, the first thing to see was, shelves of CBD products. Those are on the other side of the store. So if you just want to come in and get a cup of coffee or get a pastry, it's not a problem. But if you do want to come in and really get the full experience, then we'll spend typically 20 to 25 minutes with each client, answering any questions that they have. It's really about educating. There are a lot of CBD stores in Nashville, but they're more like, I hate to say it, but head shops, vape shops, things like that. And that is not what we are at all. If you look at the decor of Anzie Blue, it was inspired from my husband and I having a house in the Hamptons for 5 years. So it's all blue and white. We use Serena and Lily furniture. And it's really not like anything you see in Nashville. And that's what we wanted. We wanted to be very unique and set ourselves apart from everybody else. So we don't really compare ourselves to anyone else. We're just this new thing that my husband and I, in our spare time, decided to launch, because why not?
Well, what's also important is that you, without conform to other coffee shops, you're creating a new home. You're creating an environment where everybody can come, not only experience it, but something new, at the same time feel comfort. I think that's what we all seek out to do now. Is it's that moment that we can socialize. We're trying to find our second home all over again, because we're all homester crazy now, right? As much as
Absolutely.
as much as we love our own kitchen, we love to cook, and it is absolutely the most relaxing thing is be able to pick up the phone and order from your favorite coffee shop and get the favorite pastry from there, and eat without having to wash dishes after. Is my favorite thing in life right now.
Exactly.
We learn about the simplicity of things that we need to keep us happy and joyful. And with every time I don't have to wash dishes, I am happy, guys. I am happy. So I know that business has evolved and has really financially has also benefited quite a bit. Through that process, how are you continue to support the community around you and giving back?
Well, from the very beginning, we just got a 1-2 gut punch in Nashville. We had a tornado in early March. So we did a fundraiser. The store was not affected. It was more in East Nashville, and we're in West Nashville. But we had a fundraiser where we raised $10,000 with t-shirt sales. We partnered up with Nashville TN, and they were just unbelievable to work with. And so then 1 week later, everything, kind of blew up with the pandemic. And so from the beginning, we started reaching out to local charities. So we actually provide coffee to hospitals on a weekly basis. And then we just actually tonight have partnered up with Feeding Nashville. And we are across the street, or located across the street from St. Thomas Hospital West. And we are feeding 100 doctors and nurses hamburgers, chips, and water. Just anything. It's not a lot, but it's something. And anything that we can do, because my husband and I both are Nashville natives. So Nashville is our home.
You know, it's so important to say that. And then when you say that's not much, but it's a lot. And you know that with Let's Talk About, my initiative for this talk show is simply to bring awareness that we can help people in so many little ways. The initiative of donating 500 masks for every single guest that comes on the show and to share their story. So thank you for your time today, that we would be
Yes.
donating 500 masks and you have the opportunity to match, and you have that, and you have told me offline
Yes.
you would do so. And thank you so much. Because of that, today, we have raised over 100,000 masks for first responders and 60,000 on the way, 40,000 in transit. But that's, you know, so I no longer ask people how much they want to help. I just ask people help a little. It's really funny that the wins that reface that, and a lot of people go, oh, they don't feel the anxiety. You know, they're like, oh, I have to help. What does that mean? I have to leave I'm teaching my kids from 3 to 6. How am I going to help you, right? When people realize that you don't have to do a lot. Sometimes just picking up the phone and check on your doctors, send them an email and say, how are you doing? Because they're first responders.
Exactly.
They're you know, we just need connection. And so for you guys out there listening, there's no help that's too small. So, and everything you can do. And one thing I've learned so much so from talking to the food industry and people like you is that the community is the most important that's around you. There's a lot of global initiative out there, but like the virus, where it spreads is from one person to another within 6 feet. And I keep saying this, if you can take that 6 feet and spread the kindness instead of running the other direction, it will help. We can learn from this virus. We can learn from how we can spread our kindness and giving the same way the virus is trying to spread. And you're doing just that. And in fact, not only so, you have pivoted business to inspire others to learn. And I know this, that a lot of businesses and restaurants are in more higher end restaurants. It's really hard for them to pivot. How do they how do they provide a 5-course meal to someone that they're used to? Now they have to do a pickup service. One, your branding professor, you know, they have to change their brand. Two, they have to change logistically how the kitchen is set up, and delivery service and accounting. It is not an easy pivot. And for those out there who's wanting to kind of, I would say, let their ego go a little bit, and especially comes to food, right? It comes to food. There's a lot of ego in the food because it's about artistry, and I completely understand. And when restaurants like Anaka, who I spoke to yesterday, when Nikki Nakayama, who has a 2 Michelin star restaurant, says to me, "We're going to pivot, and we're going to make bento boxes for people that can pick up." What an opportunity for people to be able to pick up Michelin star bento boxes. When do you ever hear that, right? And I think that's the pivot in our industry that I fall in love with. And that's the story like yours, able to see, okay, we're not going to close because our community need us. And we know that coffee is, it's a backbone of America.
Yes, it is. It makes you feel like you have a sense of normalcy in your life.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, introducing the CBD education to the masses, I think the timing could not have been better for your business. In fact, in a way that really has supported. And along the way, not only just benefiting from the success of pivoting, that you are now giving back every day to your community. That's something that is to simplify what we all need to do and think about as we keep moving forward and out of this pandemic.
Absolutely.
How are your kids? How are the kids? I always have to ask when people have kids at home.
You know what? They are troopers. They miss their friends. They are sad they're not going to be going to summer camp this summer. But, you know, we're just going to find all kinds of fun things to do together as a family. And I think, too, that there's one thing that this pandemic has done, especially for a household of, you know, 2 entrepreneurs, it's forced everyone to slow down and to really spend more time together. We've done a lot of charades games. A lot. There's been a lot of walks around the neighborhood. Luckily, we have a pool, so we've been able to hang out around the pool and just relax. And it's just going to be a slower summer. You know, we were supposed to go visit my brother in Europe this summer. He lives in Germany. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. So we're down here in the Florida Keys, and we're just so appreciative that we have this house and we're able to spend some time together. And then we'll get back and be working the store.
Resilience. That's what we are. We're resilient people. But then you have to keep on going. And guys out there, I know it's not easy. Some of us been in this for 12 weeks. Some of them are going for 8 weeks. A lot of it even 3 months of time, and everybody's going through this at such a different stage. But if it helps you just to walk out to your neighborhood, find a local coffee shop, buy a cup of coffee to support them, it goes a long, long way. And start with your community. I think that is so, so important. So thank you so much for being with me today and share your story. And I love the story that's a successful one. It is the one that for pivoting and understanding and listening. I think most importantly, you listen to your community and then come back slowly with diligence of safety. That's what we can ask for. And thank you for giving to the first responders. And thank you for your donations as well.
Of course, and thank you so much. I think everyone needs a little bit of a positive story out there. So we were really happy to be able to share Anzie Blue's story. And if anyone wants to check us out, we're on the web, anzieblue.com, and on Instagram. And
I will put that up when we post the video. And also, I can't wait for the day that I can come and visit this unusual coffee shop.
Yes, we will have a lavender lemonade on the patio together.
Yes, I would love nothing more. I would love nothing more. Well, stay safe and stay healthy out there, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for joining me at the special editions of Giving Tuesday. I'm so happy to always on Tuesday be able to talk to people in the food and beverage industry and continue to learn, because every single day things change. Regulation change, policy change, capacity allowing restaurants change. So we're just growing. All of us just growing together through this. And the food industry really desperately needs your support. We know that could be as many as 75% of restaurants that may be able to come back. And in the way to help them is reach out and order some food, gift certificates, and support your local community. Have a good day, guys.